over 20 years since the tragic and unexpected death of Run DMC's DJ Jam Master Jay. The hip-hop trailblazer was shot in a New York recording studio back in 2002.
And between 2020 and 2023, 3 men have been charged with this murder. 2 of them have pleaded not guilty, and a third suspect is expected to plead not guilty as well. And now the case will go to trial at the end of the month. And here with a preview in our new GMA3 legal series, Better Call Brian, is ABC News contributor Brian Buckmire. Good to see you and good to have you on.
Good to see you both as well.
So let's talk about this case. It's been 20 years. We went from having no suspects to now having suspects to now having a trial. It seems as if it was an inside job. Does it feel like that way on this level and where we are now?
It does. And part of the reason why this took so long, to quote a WABC reporter who did a documentary on this, the streets were talking. But there were so many different theories. Was it an inside job? Was it about drugs? Was it about life insurance? And law enforcement chased down each one of those leads and kind of ended up with a dead end until they got here. And to your point about the inside job, let's just take a step back and remember what happened on October 30th of 2002. Jam Master Jay was killed in his recording studio. But the way that it worked is you would get to the door and you had to be buzzed in. There was a camera where you would see the person's face before you get buzzed in. You walk upstairs to the studio, there's the receptionist or the business manager there who's at that desk. There's Jam Master Jay and a friend sitting on the couch, and behind that wall is a recording studio with 3 other people.
And 4 security cameras, by the way.
4 security cameras. But when this all went down and they went back to the cameras, that day was not on the camera. So who would have been buzzed in? And who would have known where the cameras were and where the recording system was to kind of get away with this without anyone knowing? Fast forward throughout the years, we're hearing different theories, different people talk, people getting arrested and finding out sentencing memos mention this very crime. And now we have 3 people arrested and 2 facing a trial come this end of the month.
I mean, part of the reason this was so shocking was his death was so violent, but his music was not violent. So what do we know about what led up to this, why this actually happened?
So again, different theories, but what the government here is arguing in the Eastern District of New York, here in Brooklyn, New York, is that this had to do with a cocaine deal to the tune of about 10 kilos. That Jam Master Jay was making a little money on the side, because when you think about it, you're like, Run DMC and Jam Master Jay were major influences in the music industry. Why would any one of them need to get involved with drugs? And that's what kind of people are a little suspicious about. But supposedly he was involved in the drug deal, making a little extra coin on the side because he had issues with tax purposes in the IRS. And 2 people believe that something went wrong in the drug deal, buzzed in, and those people being Carl Jordan Jr. and Ronald Washington, Little D or Tenard, and they committed this murder because of a cocaine deal that went wrong.
So what charges do these men face?
So there are 11 charges. Little D or Carl Jordan Jr. is facing 7 charges involving cocaine distribution. But the higher charges are murder involving trafficking of drugs. Again, the theory that this was all over a drug deal gone wrong. And if convicted, they both face up to 20 years in federal prison.
Okay, let's talk about the burden of proof, because it's been 20 years, right? So many of us have watched those crime shows. We all know the idea of beyond a reasonable doubt. Sort of break this down for us. What do they have to prove here?
So let me start off with this. If you get 5 attorneys in a room and you ask them this question, I bet you will probably get 5 different answers. But New York has a pretty good definition. They say it is a reasonable and understandable doubt based on the evidence or the lack thereof that a person would appreciate based on the importance of that situation that would make them believe that a crime did occur or didn't occur. Now that's legal mumbo jumbo. But this is what I do when I talk to a jury in jury selection. I say this. There's this beautiful example that my law professor at Washington and Lee gave me. Her name is Beth Belmont. She said, tell the jury about this box. It's a box, and sorry for the cat lovers, you throw in and the bird lovers, you throw a bird and a cat inside the box, and you cut a hole at the top of the box that we all agree that bird can fly out of. Now, if we close our eyes and turn around and we come back and in that box is only the cat, I'd go to you and say, well, what happened to the bird? It would be reasonable to say the cat ate the bird, right? But it'd also be reasonable to say that the bird flew out of the box.
Right.
That's a reasonable doubt. But what if I said, okay, there are some feathers inside of the box and maybe even a little bit of blood? You'd be like, okay, clearly the cat ate the bird. Here are the feathers and the blood. Well, what if the cat just swiped at the bird and the bird got away? That's still a reasonable doubt that the bird got away, right? And you kind of just play this game over and over.
What if you find the feathers in the cat's mouth?
Exactly.
Right.
Right? Well, maybe the cat just bit the bird and the bird got away. That's reasonable doubt. If it's something that you would appreciate and say, you know what, that is reasonable, and it gives me doubt as to whether or not the cat ate the bird, that's how I explain it to jurors, and they all kind of understand. And then I apologize to all the animal lovers, and I say, I'm sorry, I've got a dog of my own. I hate the example, but Beth Belmont, brilliant professor, this is the best I've got.
Yeah, brilliantly said there, too.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody's talking about this case.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be this one starting, I think, next week, and then we've got another one coming up, and we're going to see where these theories and where these ideas lead when the prosecution and the government really put out this case.
My takeaway is don't put a cat and a bird in a box together.
No.
Never. All right.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.